In the morning. It's now 9 o'clock at night. You would bring that pie up too, wouldn't you? Right as I'm trying to get my mind off it.
Oh, it's you, is it?
Yes. Have you seen Angela anywhere?
She went to bed.
Oh, why?
She said she had a headache. What did you want her for?
Oh, I was just thinking of going for a stroll.
Are you going for a stroll where?
Oh, hither and thither.
I wonder if you would mind doing something for me.
Give it a name.
You know the path that runs through the kitchen gardens past the greenhouse? If you go along it, you come to a pond.
Yes.
Otherwise, you get a nice, heavy piece of rope, or stout cord. You go along the path until you come to the pond.
To the pond, right?
And get a nice, heavy stone, or a fairly large brick would do.
Quite.
And
Rope, yes.
I want you, like a good boy, to tie the rope to the brick and tie it around your blasted neck and jump in the pond and drown yourself. In a couple of days, I'll have you fished out and buried. I'll dance on your grave.
What's all this, Aunt? You seem pipped with good.
That!
Why this ill-concealed annex?
Who was the chump? Who was the dithering idiot that talked to me against my better judgment to going without my dinner?
Oh, yes, I know how you feel, Delia. Quite hungry as of now, yes, but never fear. And Uncle Tom will be around here sometime or other, full of sympathy and anxious inquiries.
Will he? Do you know where he is right now?
No, I haven't seen him.
He's in the study, with his face buried in his hand, muttering about civilization and melting pots.
Why?
Because it has just been my painful duty to inform him that Anatole has given notice.
What?
Anatole has given notice as a result of that driveling scheme of yours. What do you expect a sensitive, temperamental French cook to do if you go about urging everybody to refuse all food? Like Paul, when the first 2 courses came back practically untouched, he cried like a child. And when the rest of the dinner followed, he took the whole thing as a studied and calculated insult and decided to hand in his portfolio.
Great Scott.
Well, you may say, great Scott. Do you see now why I wanted you to drown yourself?
I am sorry.
What's the good of being sorry?
I acted for the best.
Next time, try acting for the worst. He escaped with a mere flesh wound.
Uncle Tom's not getting all too bucked about it all, you said.
He's groaning like a lost soul. Any chance I ever had of getting that money out of him is gone.
I agree with you, Aunt Delia, that things might be looking bad, but never fear, I can fix everything.
Don't you dare touch it! Try another one of your lunatic schemes. I am going now to try to sweet-talk Anatole. If you even think of interfering, you will be very sorry, my lad.
Goodbye, Bertie.
You mean hello, don't you?
Oh no, I mean goodbye. I'm off to the kitchen garden to drown myself.
Don't be a fool.
I'm not a fool. Am I a fool, Jeeves?
Possibly a little injudicious, sir.
You mean about drowning myself?
Yes, sir.
You think on the whole, not to drown myself?
I should not advocate it, sir.
Very well, I accept your rule. Anyway, it would be rather unpleasant for Mrs. Travers to find a swollen body floating in her pot.
Yes, sir.
After all, she's been very kind to me.
Yes, sir.
You've been very kind to me, Jeeves.
Thank you, sir.
Even you, Bertie, have been very kind. In fact, everyone's been very, very kind to me. So kind indeed that I've no complaints to make.
What's the matter with Gussie?
Mr. Fingdoddle's not quite himself, sir. He's passed through a rather trying experience.
But I left him with Miss Bassett.
Yes, sir.
I had softened her up.
Yes, sir.
Well, what happened? I'd even coached him on his lines and everything.
So Mr. Fingdoddle informed me, sir.
Well, what could have happened?
I regret to say, sir, that there was a slight hitch.
Hitch? You mean something went wrong?
Yes, sir.
But she loves him, Jeeves.
Indeed, sir.
Yes, she told me so herself. All he had to do was propose.
Yes, sir.
Well, didn't he?
No, sir.
Then what did he talk about?
Newts, sir.
Newts?
Yes, sir.
Newts?
Yes, sir.
Why the dickens did he want to talk about newts?
As I gather from Mr. Finknoddle, he was the victim of a sudden unfortunate spasm of nervousness, sir. Upon finding himself alone with the young lady, Mr. Finknoddle admits to having lost his morale. In such circumstances, gentlemen frequently talk at random, saying the first thing that enters into their heads. This, in Mr. Finknoddle's case, appears to have been the newt. Its treatment in sickness and in health.
How long did this nuisance continue?
For not some inconsiderable time, I gather, sir. According to Mr. Finknoddle, he supplied Miss Bassett with a very full and complete information, not only with regard to the common newt, but also to the crested and palmated variety as well. He just described to her how the newly born newt has 3 pairs of long, plume-like external gills, when the young lady rose and said that she thought she would go to her room.
And then, Jeeves?
She went, sir.
Good heavens, Jeeves. I must think over my next move carefully.
Yes, sir.
Burn us the brain a bit.
Precisely, sir.
Well, good night, Jeeves.
Good night.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I have.
Why on earth would you feel the need to empty the larder after that perfectly enormous dinner?
Wait, stay where you are! I was in the army, I was! And I know how to handle this thing. God bless my soul. Elliott, what are you doing here?
Well, if it comes to that, my Mary is synonymous, what are you?
I thought there must be burglars in the house. There were noises.
What kind of noises?
Funny noises.
I suspect it was Mr. Glossop eating. I ought to have told you, Father, that Mr. Glossop always likes to have 3 or 4 meals during the night. It helps keep him going until breakfast. He has such an amazing appetite. See, he's practically finished a large steak and kidney pie already. You've no idea how Mr. Glossop loves food. He simply lives for it. He always has 6 or 7 meals a day and then starts again after bedtime. I think it's rather wonderful.
How interesting. It reminds me of a boa constrictor.
Don't you mean a python?
I suppose you're right. A python, the very beast. Tom, will you get that thing away from here? It's getting so that human life isn't safe in the vicinity. There are no burglars. There never are any burglars. It's just your imagination.
But Elliott, I saw you. I heard it this time. They must have come in through one of the
That
basements.
was Mr. Glossop. regulars would want to raid the pantry. I think it's high time that we all went back to bed.
A truly sensible idea. Oh, but Hildebrand, do be sure not to take steps too quickly. After 7 or 8 solid meals, a man of your build ought to be very careful. It's the same with dogs. Mother, do you remember Ambrose the Lake Spaniel?
I do. Poor old Ambrose. You just couldn't keep him away from the garbage pail.
Upstairs is this way, my lad. Don't be getting any funny ideas.
Is that it? Okay, Steve, do you know if I shut it off, will it just pause it? It won't go back to the beginning, will it?
It'll just pause.
It'll just pause.